Hi everyone, and welcome to the Watcher of Watches YouTube channel, where I will be sharing my passion for watches, buying and owning experiences of timepieces that I have collected over the last few years. If you like my videos, please drop me a comment below, hit the subscribe button turning on the notifications, and follow me on Instagram. Once you get into watch collecting, it's not long before you come across the brand Zenith, with its unique history and innovative watches. And if you saw my last buying video, you'll know that I was looking for the Chronomaster El Primero in 38mm, and I was looking for it in the silver dial. But I was actually looking also at another Zenith watch, and it was a Chronomaster A386 Manufacturer Edition. Now this watch is only available by visiting the factory in Switzerland, and whilst we all go through unprecedented times, it has been made available for a limited period only to selected countries on the Zenith online retail shop. Now the manufacturer edition comes in stainless steel, and it has the A386 case design, but it comes with a unique dial which was recently discovered in the attic, and the subdials have a different shade of blue. So I checked with the flagship store in Dubai to see if there was any way they could get the A386 manufacturer edition in, so I could compare the two models and decide which one I wanted to buy. But they reiterated exactly the same, and it wasn't possible for them to get the watch in. But when discussing the A386 case design, the flagship store mentioned that they had two revival editions, and they had received these just before lockdown. Now the revival edition was a perfect remake of the original 1969 Mark I model, but they came in precious metal. Each of these versions are limited to 50 pieces each. The white gold is sold out and is a real sleeper hit, and you could probably only tell that it's a precious metal watch by picking it up and feeling the weight. The yellow gold was available, and I tried it on and it had a very vintage feel to it, but I ended up going for the rose gold, and for me this had real wow factor. So if you recall my last video, I had mentioned that I had a really good buying experience from the Zenith AD, and they gave me quite a few things with the watch as well. One of them was this manufacturer book. Just look at that, the perlage pattern on there. And you can see a lot of their components are hand finished. And apart from the El Primero movement, Zenith are actually known for their high-end complications as well. I was also given this book, and it weighs about 2 kilos and goes into the deep history of Zenith, showing many of their older timepieces. And there's the original on the left, the reference A386, and it was made between 1969 to 1972. And there are only 4,500 pieces of that watch made, and you can actually see on Chrono24, depending on the condition that you can get the watch in, they range from $10,000 all the way up to $30,000. And when buying from any authorized dealer, get them to throw in a travel case. They always come in quite handy, and some of them are actually quite nice. This one here allows you to put in a watch with a small size wrist as well. Always make sure you get these outer skins for the main watch box, and this is quite substantial. Now there's a lot hiding in this watch box. So if I remove this main one first, we won't remove that sticker. So here is a receipt which I bought from the Rivoli Group, and the retail price is $19,200 for this watch. So this small wallet houses your warranty card, and there's something special about the warranty for this watch. So this has your serial number at the front, and at the back has your serial number and movement number. And a leather hand tag. Now this has the reference number of the watch as well as the movement number. Yes, you have read that right. This watch comes with complimentary 50-year warranty and service. Now you do need to give this watch in every few years to ensure that the warranty is not invalidated. And they're so confident in this El Primero movement and the watch to be able to give such a long warranty period. And in 2069, there is a special invitation. It won't be for me, it'll probably be for my grandkids, but there's a special invitation to the 100th anniversary of the El Primero movement. There are also a couple of instruction manuals for the watch, but I'll run through that later in detail. Now back to the main box, and just look at that. Now we're actually going to put this watch to the side for a second because you can see a small tag at the back. So there is a little bit more to this unboxing. So there are a few more compartments. Now this is a vintage style Zenith box, and I believe this is how they used to do them back in 1969. It'll probably never get used, but it's a nice touch. A microfiber cloth. I don't think I'll ever open this. And finally, a USB stick. Now, I have no idea how to get this out. There isn't a gap for me to put my finger there. But I do know that this will allow me to register my watch online, which I've already done. And here you go, guys. A close-up of the watch. Now it's hard to really show this watch in this current light. I've tried to keep it with natural light, but you don't really get to see the color of the rose gold and actually the color of the 3 subdials. But just look at that. I think the detailing on this watch is really next level for any Zenith watch that I've seen. For example, the brush finish going at an angle on the lugs. The perfect cutout of each subdial, and you can see the swirl pattern. And I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but it looks like a flat or a matte white dial, but it's actually got an eggshell finish when you loop this watch. So let's go through the technical specs of this watch. The case is 18 karat rose gold. The diameter of the watch is 38mm, but it wears more like 40mm due to the longer lugs. The thickness or the case height is 12.6mm, and that's partially driven by the box-shaped sapphire crystal. It has an open case back, 50-meter water resistant, but I really won't be taking this swimming at all. The second hand on this watch is the light grey subdial, or the one that you see on the left. The red seconds hand is for the chronograph. The right subdial, or in blue, is for the minutes on the chronograph, and then the dark grey or the bottom subdial is for the hours. Now if I could change just one thing on this watch, it would be to remove that date window. I've never been a fan of date windows at 4:30. I think they look nice at 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock. That's not possible on this watch. So I think they should have removed that altogether, and they should do that with all of their 38mm. I think it works on their 42s. But in this case, I would have preferred it not being there. That said, and you can probably hear it in my voice, but I absolutely love this watch. So let's take a closer look at the case design of this watch. Now, I mentioned earlier that it's a perfect remake of the 1969 Mark I model. And you can see it looks relatively thin, and that's because of the way the shape has been designed. The pin buckle is also in 18 karat rose gold. The sides are highly polished, and you can see the box sapphire crystal there, so that adds to the 12.6mm. The angular lugs are quite unique to this case design, and one of the few changes to the original Mark I model was actually including the star on the crown. To set this watch, you pull the crown in the first position. Now it doesn't hack the seconds, but this movement was so well advanced for its time that that's allowable. And then you pull the crown in the second position, and actually you go upwards to change the date. So it's a slight reverse order. So let's kick off the chronograph, and you can hear that crispness in the click. Now this isn't a flyback function, so you first stop it to reset, which is instant. The strap is a combination of alligator leather with a rubber back. And let's take a look at the legendary movement. So this is the in-house El Primero 400 movement. It's an automatic chronograph with a column wheel, and it was one of the first automatic chronograph movements in 1969. It has 31 joules, 36,000 vibrations per hour or 5 Hertz, another feature that was way ahead of its time, and you don't get many watches doing that today. And it has 50 hours power reserve. Let's see the column wheel in action. So the column wheel surrounds the inverse S in the movement. So finally, let's get this on the wrist and see how it looks. And there you go, guys, the Zenith A386 Revival in rose gold. What do you think, guys? Was it a good purchase? Please do share your opinions below in the comments section.